And also with women, I feel like they need to get it together.
With what?
Like it's okay to fix a toilet.
Oh.
And change a tire. You know what I mean?
Well, might be taking a little bit too far.
And then how are you? How's your mother? How's your father? Wait, what did we say? Me mom. How's your mom? How's your dad? My name is Ashley Jazelle, and I go by Jazelle.
My name is Rikita Michelle, and welcome back to our podcast called Who You Talking To? Mother-daughter podcast, where we sit and we talk about whatever and whoever. You know what I'm saying?
We're back. Our popular demand.
Here. So, what's been going on with you? Like, let's catch up.
Fun fact.
We're gonna do that after we catch up.
Okay.
Before the topic. So
everything that's been going on with me, I've been busy starting school and doing track stuff because the track season has started back up. We're supposed to be having tryouts at the end of this month, so yeah, everything's going good. Everything's going great, and I'm one of the team leaders now, and I am designing the new warm-up uniforms for the team.
Yeah, that's pretty dope. Yeah. How did that come about?
What do you mean?
Like you designing the new design for the team warm-ups. Did you approach your coach about it?
I went up to my coach and I just pitched the idea to him. And I sent him a few samples. I guess that's what you would call it, a few samples and stuff. And yeah, it ended up actually becoming a real thing. And I think it's actually going to be put on the website and stuff. So
that's dope. Well, congratulations.
Yeah. Because that's season 2023.
Yeah.
Through 2024.
Yeah. Well, congrats. And your team leader, is it called team captain or what is it called?
He called it team leader.
Oh, okay. Well, period. Yeah. That's it? That's been going on with you?
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Making my money,
Don't let it make you. Period.
My English class.
Well, hold on. How are you making your money? You don't want to say that?
Illegally.
Well, I meant to say I don't know if they know you quit your job. I think they don't. I don't
know. I quit my job for the track season, so I don't have a job. So I was having two sources of income for a little bit. I was having a job and the other thing that I do, but I quit my job for the track season, so now it's just the other thing that I do.
And it's not illegal for real. So that was a joke.
So
what's going on? You want to talk about your English class?
Yeah. When I started school, I had this English teacher, and she's Jamaican, and I feel like she should retire.
Is she elderly?
Yes.
Like how?
60s, 70s. I don't think 60s is elderly, but 70s is approaching elderly.
Mm.
But yeah, she retired. As much money as she claimed to have.
Maybe teaching is her passion.
Obviously not. She complains every day about something that the students do. And she's been like mad at us for like a week. Like ever since the day that I came into her classroom and I didn't speak to her or anything, and she got angry at me for it. Which she's never said anything about it before. I think it was probably like Monday this happened.
Mm-hmm.
So it was like the beginning of the week. She got angry for it, and I don't know why she was getting so angry, because she never says anything to me when I walk into the classroom. I never say anything to her, or the same goes for all students.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't say anything to the students, and the students don't say anything to her. Yeah, she was just so angry that I didn't say anything to her. And ever since, she gave the class like a lecture and stuff like that about how we have bad manners and stuff like that, which she was really talking about me. She's saying that we have like bad manners, and if we don't want to be here, then we should leave and stuff like that. And ever since then, she has like barely said a peep to the classroom. And it's been like a week, and she just gives us like a page number in the curriculum book and tells us to do it, which is not actually teaching.
So,
and our grades are reflecting that.
So she doesn't give you any instruction?
No.
She doesn't do a lecture at all?
No.
I wonder if...
And whenever we come up to her and ask her a question about the assignment or like the pages that she told us to do in the book, like her response is always like, the instructions are in the book, it's in the book, it's in the book, it's in the book. Or coming up to you for a reason because it's not in the book. So we're asking you. Yeah.
So I wonder if...
The book is very, very, very broad instructions.
I wonder if the school received any
complaints about her?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, this is nothing new. Like, our class is not the first class to experience this. I
remember you telling me that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been hearing complaints about my English teachers since like freshman year.
Right. So I'm saying, the administrative staff, the principals and such, that's what I'm asking. Has anyone complained to them? Not students, but like parents, or like if it's really an issue where she's not, teaching properly, that can be something that needs to be looked into.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's just she's just not that good of a teacher. And we did just get a new principal this year. So I don't know, maybe that gave her the chance to start off on a new slate. A clean slate. And she brags about how much she gets along with the staff and stuff like that. So that might be another reason why she's still here and nobody wants to fire her because of favoritism.
Well, we'll see how it goes. How it goes throughout the school year. We might have to escalate. All right. If there are any issues that are affecting you long term.
She doesn't even let us go to the restroom. The whole class. Like if we forgot our Chromebook or our phone or our AirPods or something like that in our previous class, she doesn't let us go get it. And she doesn't let us go to the restroom.
Which is also an issue.
Yeah, it's pretty terrible.
Depending on, like I was telling you before, I know how, because I was once a student. Okay. I know how students like to say they go into the restroom, like ask to go to the restroom when really they're trying to do something else. So I don't know if that's what's in her mind of why she don't let y'all go, but just having a blanket statement of not letting anybody go ever, it's not giving. Um,
She has no evidence of us even doing it. She's been doing that since day one.
Well, I didn't say she needed evidence. She's been a teacher for a long time, so I'm sure she knows, how students do. She don't need evidence of y'all in particular doing it, but yeah. So,
Even if you don't actually have to use the restroom, I feel like she still shouldn't be able to say no. No, like she doesn't know if you're lying or not. So whether you have to actually use the restroom.
Right. Yeah, it's like a nuanced situation, especially for young ladies, you know what I'm saying? So we might have extenuating circumstances that need to be addressed urgently.
She lets the boys use the restroom more than she does the girls.
Interesting.
Like a lot more. She hasn't really ever said no to a boy asking to use the restroom.
So it's a gender thing, you think?
I mean, not completely. She said no
Mm-hmm.
to boys, but she just lets them use the restroom more often than she does the girls, which is still rare,
right.
Anyways. But yeah. So yeah, that's a yike.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what's been happening with me in school, in life.
Okay. So cool. So what's going on with me?
Mm-hmm.
So what's going on with me lately? So I'm on a cleanse currently. That's going well. Today's day 5. It's a 10-day cleanse. You know what I'm saying? Yes, 10-day cleanse. Today's day 5. So we're in the halfway mark. And what?
Y'all just started like yesterday.
We started on Tuesday. Yeah, okay, it's day 5. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
Nope, it was yesterday.
It went by fast. It goes by fast, especially since.
I didn't feel like it last time. It felt so long for me.
For you, yes. Like you were affected.
Yeah, I was.
How are you affected?
Yeah.
How?
Because every time I looked in the refrigerator or the pantry, there was nothing but leaves in the kitchen. So yeah.
What's wrong with leaves? You throw you some spinach on a plate and chop up an onion and a tomato.
And I don't like onions or tomatoes. So that's great.
Yeah, so that's how that's going. The cleanse is a smoothie cleanse, the 10-day smoothie cleanse. I drink a smoothie for breakfast, lunch, and dinner for 10 days. And so, yeah. So that's going well. It's going by fast. I mean, this is probably like maybe the 15th time I've done this cleanse. So, I'm kind of used to it by now. So yeah, let's see. What else has been going on with me? I went to Mexico with my friends.
Not me, by the way.
Yes, because you're my child.
Continue.
You're my child, not my friend.
Continue.
You can't go where I go all the time. Okay?
I don't go where you go all the time.
Oh, yeah, I know. Yeah. I know. Yeah. I'm aware. Yeah. So yeah, I went to Mexico with my friends. We stayed at the Planet Hollywood Resort. We had a good old time. My best friend was my roommate. And then, we had some friends of friends, you know what I'm saying? There was 11, I think there are 11 of us total. And we had a good time, The resort was questionable. I'm not gonna lie about that. The room smelled like mildew.
So.
And the food. I'm talking about Planet Hollywood, by the way, Cancun, which is not really in Cancun, it's outside of Cancun, a 40-minute drive after you fly into Cancun, which is a whole other thing. Yeah, the food was horrible. You know how these resorts, they have like several restaurants on them, and stuff like that on the grounds. and pretty much everywhere had just mediocre food. Mediocre was the best it was going to get. Like, there was like maybe 2 things that I tasted that I was like, okay, I'd get this again. You know what I'm saying? And we went to pretty much every restaurant on there, except there was this one little small, like little, not a lounge, but I guess like a bar, sports bar situation, where and they sold wings and stuff. And that one of the nights, some of the girls got some wings and they said they were good. And so I know Crystal, my best friend, was trying to go back to get the wings, and I don't think that ever happened. I would have liked to have tasted those too, but I never got a chance to taste those. But I also am skeptical that they were good because, you know, me and wings, finding a good wing is very, very, very hard. So that's how
interesting.
That's how that went.
They are from Memphis. Most of the people on the trip.
Yeah, Memphis, Mississippi. Because you know, Mika's originally from Mississippi. It was my best friend's sister's birthday, so we were celebrating her 40th birthday, and then one of her friends, it was her 45th birthday, I think. Don't give me the line. I think it was 45th birthday, and so they were having like a joint birthday situation. So it was kind of cute. Yeah, and I think most of them were from Memphis. Crystal and Kanissa came from Dallas, and then I think there was a couple that came from Mississippi, maybe. I don't know. Yeah, so it was a good time. I mean, the best time that I had was not the food or the smell of that room, but you know, the friendship, the camaraderie. You know what I'm saying? The community, the getting together, talking to one another, you know what I'm saying, catching up, if you will. It's been a while since I've seen my best friend, and so it's always great seeing her, of course. And just, you know, having a good time. So we did that. We went ATV riding. That was one of our excursions. That was fun. That's the one thing we did off of the resort. But for the majority of the time, we did most of the things on the resort. You know what I'm saying? They had like a little foam party that was fun.
And you got bit up from the flow up.
Oh yeah, on the ATV ride, I definitely got towed up by mosquitoes. My whole left thigh covered in mosquito bites. I counted almost 20 of them. So that was great.
Sounds tragic. I'm surprised you didn't get malaria.
Oh, okay.
Wait, no, that's not a thing in South America.
Well, Mexico's not in South America.
I mean, Central America.
So, yeah. So,
what part of Mexico?
Cancun.
Right. So was it like southern Mexico or middle Mexico or northern Mexico?
I know it's definitely eastern because it was on the coast. That's all I know. Somewhere in the middle, I'm sure. I think somewhere in the middle and east coast. But
well, then that's probably still North America, actually.
So, I think that the best food that I had there was while I was on that excursion, the ATV excursion. We went to this little place to get food, and they had like a gift shop where they were scamming people. So, trying to get you to pay 4 times something that's what something's worth, trying to get you to pay 4 times that. You know what I'm saying? There was no prices on anything. They tell you the price, and then you can, you know, negotiate. You know how that goes. Anywho, the food there, though, I got these shrimp quesadillas. Chef's kiss. That was the best food I had there. That shrimp quesadilla, and it kept me full, like, for the rest of the day, pretty much, because I was, like, full for the rest of the day off of that shrimp quesadilla, because that's probably the first time I ate all my food. And that was really good. And the second best meal I had was at the airport on the way home. I mean, we were still in Mexico, so I guess that counts. But it was at the Cancun airport, and I went to an Asian sushi place, so it wasn't Mexican food, and it was Asian, Eastern Asian. They had like I got a poke bowl, and I got like a sushi roll of some kind, and it was really good. Yeah. And so yeah, good time was had. I got me a nice little tan or whatever, looking like a dark skin baddie, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, good times were had. So yeah, that's what's been going on with me. And since getting back, I'm getting back it's taking about a week or two to get back in the swing of things in my regular life. So yeah.
So
I need another trip ASAP. Maybe you can go on the next one.
I thought the next one was Germany.
Well, that's next summer. So
yeah, that's when I thought my next trip was.
Well, you never know. You never know what might pop up here or there.
What's going
on? Yeah, so okay. I'm done with what's going on with me. Want to move on to our random facts.
So,
icebreaker
fact of the day is an animal called the spider-tailed horned viper. There's a lot of D's in that. Spider-tailed horned diaper.
Not horned diaper. Spider-tailed horned.
No, we're cutting that out.
No, we're not.
Yes, we are.
No.
Yes, we are. Spider-tailed horned viper. It's a snake that's in the desert. I think that's their habitat. And they blend in very well with the environment. And not only that, they literally have a spider tail. Right? So they have on their tail is this like special little spiky thingamajig.
I'm going to put pictures in here.
And it looks like a spider.
So that y'all can see. I'm going to put a picture up.
And it looks like a spider. See, like this is what it looks like when it's on a rock.
Oh, it looks kind of like what's the point of it?
The point is to drag in prey. Right? So things that hunt spiders would come to it. So the video that I saw was a bird that came to the spider and was trying to get it. But then the snake jumped out and ate the bird.
Wow, that's kind of smart. It's kind of crazy how nature does that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like how it's designed like that. Like it has like these tricks and things kind of built in naturally, which is kind of cool.
You see how well that blends in with the rock and it just moves like a spider.
Yeah, it looks like an actual bug crawling. Okay.
And it got the bird.
That's pretty dope.
So when it moves its tail around, it looks like a spider is crawling. So that's my, I guess, fun fact.
Okay. I have a little icebreaker situation too. Or maybe I should save it to the next one. What do you think? Well, yeah, we'll just save it. I'll save it to the next one because we're alternating.
Okay.
That's how I do the next one. So let's move on to the discussion topic.
Discussion.
Discussion topic is feminine versus masculine. What does that mean? Why do we abide by these things, by these titles? We feel like we have to adhere into these boxes that are feminine or masculine. And also, how does it align with like gender roles in the home? You know what I'm saying? And does it really matter? So, what do you think? I'll let you start.
Feminine.
So,
I can't talk today. I really can't talk today. Feminine versus masculine. I mean, I guess the like dictionary definition of it, right? It's like a masculine is something that is considered like manly or something that a man would do, and feminine is something that a woman would do, or it's considered like girly. I guess.
Yes. Traditionally, right. Which Okay, so let me read the definition of feminine: having qualities or an appearance traditionally associated with women or girls. Now, that traditionally word is key.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Masculine: having qualities or appearance traditionally associated with men or boys. Duh. Um, yeah, so that traditionally is an interesting word there, right? Because whose tradition? And where did the tradition stem from?
Right.
Yeah. So what do you think about
Yeah. I don't think masculine and feminine should really be a thing, to be honest. I mean, it is a thing, and it's not really going to be. I don't think it's never going to be not a thing, but like I feel like masculine and feminine shouldn't really have a gender connected to it. But if it didn't have a gender connected to it, then it wouldn't be a thing. You know what I mean? Then people would just be who they are.
Right.
So, like, I don't know. I just feel like it shouldn't be a thing, and it shouldn't have a gender role connected to.
Gender shouldn't be connected to masculinity or femininity, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like a woman building a house shouldn't be something that's masculine. It's just a woman that's building a house.
Or what about a man wearing a skirt?
I mean, to be honest, it actually depends on what. It actually depends on the culture that you're in and the time that you're alive, right? Because today, like a man wearing a skirt or a dress would be considered feminine, but back
and taboo. People get really angry when men wear skirts in this country. Black people in particular. Go ahead.
Yeah, in this country. But let's say if you are like in Scotland, like that's part of their like wearing kilts is a thing.
It's a cultural thing.
Right. But let's say like back when people first came over here and colonized America, right? Or like back when America first got established, like men would wear dresses or wear skirts. Like that was just the style that was considered masculine then, right? Like wearing wigs, like judges would wear wigs and stuff like that because that was a thing that's considered masculine or something that a man would do. But now it's kind of reversed.
That's where that traditionally word comes in, right? When we read the definitions, because tradition changes. What's acceptable seemed acceptable, and what's deemed acceptable for a man versus a woman also changes with tradition. And it's really dumb that I feel like it's really dumb that we try to adhere to these very elusive boxes of identity that don't really mean anything. Because even like with colors, blue and pink right now, like traditionally now people would probably associate pink with girls and blue with boys, right? And it used to be the reverse. Not that long ago, pink used to be considered for baby boys and blue was for baby girls. And so when people like have these super, super strong, violent opinions about these, about how what anyone decides to do, whether it's what they want to wear, or like how they decide to carry themselves in their lives, and whether it's feminine or masculine, it's really dumb. It's really dumb. And people like surround their whole lives on this, like who they date, even in the dating world, like, right? Like even like when women now, there's a not a tradition. There's a what do you call it when something is a trend? There's a trend happening now on the interwebs of women calling men sassy. Whenever they like, I don't know, do anything. To be honest with you, but like whenever a man like is like maybe going back and forth with somebody, or does something that's traditionally feminine in conversation or something like that, then they'll say he's sassy. And of course, calling a man sassy is just like calling him a sissy or like punk, like these things that have been used, these words that have been used towards men that denotes that he's doing something feminine, right? And of course, anything feminine traditionally has been deemed unacceptable for a man to do. So yeah, I just think it's dumb. I really do, and I think we need to work on unlearning that. I mean, where do you think it stems from? Let me ask you that.
What do I think it stems from? Like masculine versus feminine?
Yeah, the thought of people or the action of people who have negative, like if a man does anything remotely considered to be feminine, then it's unacceptable. And, they might even call him gay, which is just wild. Because there are gay men who exhibit traditionally feminine and traditionally masculine traits. So, yeah. So, yeah. What do you think? Where do you think that stems from? The negative connotation that comes along with the men having feminine traits.
Sexism.
Ding 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 ding. Or patriarchy.
I think that is just like men are the leaders of the world at the moment. So and it's kind of always been that way, I guess. Well, depending on your culture, but as far as like America goes, it's always been that way, and they've never like wanted a woman to be in charge or anything like that. So yeah, I guess anything womanly or woman-like would be negative.
Because it's seen as being weak or something, right?
Yeah. So well, not to me, but when a man shows
the patriarchy,
feminine traits, then it's just like considered a bad thing.
Right.
So yeah, that's what I think.
And it's like even with women exhibiting masculine traits, right? That's even frowned upon, and it's like a super hot topic on the interwebs in the dating sphere. So yeah, they see that as something negative too, right? And the reason I have and it's usually always geared towards Black women. When a Black woman is acting a certain way or talking a certain way or doing a certain thing, then she's automatically deemed as masculine, which makes her undesirable, right? But there's a reason. It's deeper, and of course, it's rooted in patriarchy because it's rooted in racism and patriarchy put together. Anti-Blackness, let me say, anti-Blackness, patriarchy put together. Because when Black women, right, like exhibit these things, that a lot of the times, a lot of the ways that Black women are is not because we want to be that way. It's because we've been forced to, and we have to in a lot of cases. And so yeah, and then when we see ourselves as like, okay, now I have to like be a boss, for instance. You know what I'm saying? Like if a woman has like boss qualities, or if she is like assertive in her speech, then they automatically say, oh, you're masculine. And then that's negative because they want to keep the feminine in the feminine trait. Because why? The patriarchy says, the masculine traits are here, feminine traits here. The men, you are not to exhibit the feminine traits down here because you need to stay here. And the women, if you just keep your feminine traits, we can keep you in your place down here. And so, yeah, it's all rooted in patriarchy, and it's all really dumb. It is. And it's all deep, and it's all like interwoven in everything. Everything affects everything else. And it's hard to, of course, the blame always falls back on Black women. Like, we need to be more feminine, be more soft, need to be more, but there's a reason why we are the way we are. And when I say we, I know I'm talking in general terms, but you know what I'm saying,
being good at like taking care of people and stuff like that. I think that's really like when it comes to women, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because like men just claim that like women are more nurturing and stuff like that compared to men, but that's not true.
No, it's not true. We've just been forced to be the what do you call it? The child rearers, right?
The child what?
Rearers. Like we've done the child rearing, the child raising, and traditionally speaking, the we did couldn't work, so we had to stay at home and for survival, take care of the kids, take care of the house. You know what I'm saying? Not that we were naturally good at it. Um, but when you're forced into a role, of course, if you have no other choice, then you get good at it. You do what you have to do for survival. You know what I'm saying? And then those traits are passed down. Like a mother passes it down to her mother, to her children to teach her. All of these things are teachable traits. Well, I don't know about the nurturing part. I don't know if being nurturing is teachable, but I also don't think it is a inherent feminine trait. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a lot of mothers who don't want to be mothers. There's a lot of mothers who aren't that loving to their kids. You know what I'm saying? And so,
yeah.
What do you think? What do you think about feminine, masculine roles in the household? Like, who should do what as far as household duties?
Anybody can do anything at any time. I mean, I don't think it should really matter. Like a woman can cook and clean, but a man can also cook and clean in the house. You know what I mean? Like it doesn't have to be just the woman doing that.
Right. What about if something breaks in the house? Like, who should fix it?
Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, the man might not know how to fix something, but the woman does know how to fix it, so she would fix it. Like maybe she's just more of a handy person than the man is, or maybe the man is a better cook than the woman, so he cooks more often than the woman does.
Which happens. I've seen that in households.
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah. So I feel like the roles shouldn't really be assigned
to genders.
To a gender. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But also, it's actually kind of hard because a lot of men aren't raised to be able to do those type of things, right? Like a lot of mothers or fathers, whoever you're raised by, don't teach their sons how to cook real food or how to keep a house clean or yeah. I guess it's just like those two things basically, like maintenance and stuff like that around the house.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really taught, like I mean, I won't say all mothers, but just some mothers. Just kind of like baby their kids until they move out of the house, and when they get grown, then the mother's like, "Hey, get out."
Yeah, sons in particular,
right?
They do this too,
right? And with daughters, it's kind of like completely the opposite.
Yeah, they put the responsibility. Usually, more responsibility is put on the daughters than the sons. Yeah,
yeah. So I wouldn't say that is their fault, right? I mean, not saying that it can't be their fault, but
yeah,
I feel like most of the time it's probably not their fault.
Right. It's a generational cyclical thing. But I feel like once you become an adult, you know what I'm saying? Even if you weren't taught those things, you should, you should
be open to learn.
Yes, be open to learn, because if you become an adult, no matter what your gender is, there's probably going to be a time where you live on your own and not with a partner per se. So who's doing the things?
Right.
Who's doing it? So yeah, if you care about your health and want to not eat junk every day, if you care about your environment and don't want to live in filth, you're gonna have to get it together and do the things. Like I can't say that my mother had 3 girls, so there were no sons, but I can't even say that she even taught me how to cook. Like she taught me certain things. Like if I asked her about a recipe, she would give it to me and kind of walk me through it. But I was not really interested in like being in the kitchen and watching. And she never made me like, oh, you need to learn how to cook. It wasn't really a thing. But once I became an adult, And of course, after I became a parent, it's like, okay, I need to figure it out because we're not eating, fast food and pizza every day. You know what I'm saying? So I don't want that for me or for my child. So yeah, I had to figure it out. And over the years, just like any skill, you get better at it. So yeah, so I think that once you get to a certain age, there's no more blaming, past generations. You just got to do what you got to do to take care of yourself and your children.
And I mean, in today's time, it's kind of different because you can just like simply like look something up on YouTube and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Well, it's easier to learn these days than it would have been back then. Because like if a man wasn't raised to cook or clean back then he and his parents are passed away or something like that, then it's not really a way that you could like learn unless you want to like go to like the library and buy some cookbooks.
It takes really effort.
Cleaning books.
It takes more effort.
Yeah,
it took more effort back then than it does now. Everything's on the internet, so it's really
yeah. So
yeah, man. I like gender roles in the home. It's like,
and also
go ahead.
And also with women, I feel like they need to get it together.
With what?
Like it's okay to fix a toilet.
Oh.
And change a tire. You know what I mean?
Well, might be taking a little bit too far.
Like it's okay. Okay?
Might be taking a little bit too far.
Like just because you have lashes and nails and heels on doesn't mean you can't do that. Like that.
But I don't want to break a nail.
It really doesn't make any sense to me. Like at all.
No, I kind of agree with that, right? Because I was, like I said, there were no boys in my home. My mother had all girls. And of course, my mother was a single mother, so there was no man in the home, period. So there were things that we had to go, her daughters, me, we were cutting the grass. We were taking out the trash. Like she taught us how to look under the hood to check the liquids, levels of the things under there. She taught us how to put air in our tire. Now changing the tire is a bit much. I'm gonna have to ask a stranger, hey, can you? That takes a muscle. I ain't got time.
I don't know. Is that hard?
Yeah, I've never tried, but you have to jack the car up. Like I know, I know the concept. I know the steps. I can tell you the steps, but actually doing them is a different thing. So, and I know sometimes
you actually have to kind of have like a kit like in your car or something.
You need
like
the jack and you need the thing to take the lug nuts off. Yeah. And the lug nuts can sometimes be hard to take off. Like you need muscles. So anyway, there's certain things that I learned how to do where some women, like you said, I even get annoyed with some women when they're like, they haven't changed their windshield wipers in 3 years.
It's just like,
and even that, like, all you have to do is go to AutoZone and they'll change it for you. It's like, you don't even have to do it yourself. Like, you just buy them, they'll tell you which ones to buy, and then they'll put them on for you. It's like simple things like that. Or like putting,
gas in the car.
Oh, no, not gas. They know how to do that.
No, I'm not saying they don't know how to do it, but I'm saying it's like considered like
masculine.
A masculine thing to put gas in the car.
Oh, like, yeah. Like if there's a man in the car with me, yeah, he's gonna pump the gas. Sorry about it.
In my opinion.
So sorry about it.
I feel like, well, I guess it's how you look at it. I mean, maybe it's not really the gender, but I feel like who's ever like sitting in the car, right? So maybe like a person will think of it as like whose ever car it is, then they should pump the gas, or like whoever driving, they should pump the gas, or maybe the passenger should be the one to pump the gas. I don't know, but it's just like
it shouldn't be assigned to gender. You know what I mean? Yeah. I don't know. Listen, I do have some problematic views. I do believe in a deconstruction of gender roles and all of that, but there's some gender roles that I'm like, and they're not really big ones, right? Like I don't even believe in a man being the sole financial provider for a household.
Because most of them are broke.
So, I know she said that in a joking manner, but it's actually kind of true. It's not just most
I
of
wasn't
them.
joking.
It's not most of them. Like most people, period, are broke, especially with this inflation and the amount of money that people make in general, and versus the amount of money that it costs to live on this earth. Like asking a man to financially provide 100% is almost unrealistic. Now, I'm not saying that there aren't men out here that can do it. There are. There's some men that can do it, but what's the percentage of those men versus all of the men that exist?
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
And then you have to narrow it down to more traits that you want in a man. So then the percentage would be even less.
Exactly. You'll be choosing from 1% of men.
Right.
And it's just not a thing, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, I don't mind helping, with household what do you call it? Expenses, yeah. Like, hello, I've worked all my life since I was old enough to work. And so it's like now, if I happen to have a man who is adamant about taking care of all the things financially, am I going to argue with him? No.
Yeah.
I'm not. Like,
unless you're that type of person, like unless you like to work, some people would just prefer to have that type of lifestyle. Just to like go to work 5 days a week or however often you go to work.
Right.
But
yeah. So like I wouldn't argue with a man who wants to take care of anything financially. Would I still work? Maybe. Depends. Maybe I'll choose to do like a passion project instead of working, a job that I really don't like. You know what I'm saying? All of this depends on who your partner is, what they're able to do, how what their values are in the household, how they look at things, if they match with yours. And like, yeah, every household is different. Every relationship is different. Like what works from one house is not going to work for the next. So the fact that like a lot of people are trying to fit themselves into this like box of what is strictly supposed to be done by the man and the woman, I believe it needs to be thrown out the window. So, yeah. That's all I have on that.
Same.
All right, let's move on. What you watching? What you watching?
I'm watching this show called Sex Education.
And
it's about these kids in high school. And like the school kind of like, they're in England, I think. And they're just in high school. And they're learning more and more about
sex. Are they learning from like what do you call it, trial and error, or are they learning from actual class that they're taking?
Well, they did have courses, like the regular basic like sex ed courses that you can probably like opt out of or something like that. But there's this student like on campus that provided sex therapy sessions. On campus.
A student did this.
Yeah. And he's like the main character of the whole show. And his mother is a sex therapist. So that's where he got the idea from.
So sex therapy, meaning people come to him with their sex problems and he helps them through it. Interesting.
And he used to charge them at first, but then he stopped. And then he just started doing it for free. But and he became slick popular. It was kind of like under the table type thing because they didn't want people to know about their sex issues.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he was like the sex therapist of the school.
And this is a high school.
Yeah.
Interesting.
And he's actually good at it. Like he has the same gifts as his mom, obviously. And and he helped a lot of people get through their issues. So that's what it's about.
Interesting.
Yeah, and his mother started working at the school too.
As what? Doing what? Sex therapy?
And he was, because the school had an issue and they started getting on the news, like going on the news for it. Like it first started off with a chlamydia breakout, which actually wasn't real. It was just, I think it was just something called dysteria.
Okay.
Or something like that. Basically, where people think that they're like a whole bunch of people think that they're infected by this thing that really can't be transmitted unless you have sex with that person. Something like chlamydia. Like people was wearing masks and stuff in school, but it can't be transmitted that way. So anyway, that's what the school got popular for. And then they were like called like the sex school after
that.
Yeah. In the like somebody from the board of education came down and suggested that his mother should start working at the school as like an official like sex therapist. And his mother didn't know that her son was doing this stuff, by the way.
So
until very later on.
I wonder if the other parents of the other students know, because that it can get a little dicey. You know what I'm saying?
Well, the parents of the students know what?
If they're like getting sex advice from another student.
The students know that they're getting sex advice from another student.
Their parents.
The parents know.
If the other students' parents know that they're getting sex advice from the student, you know what I'm saying? This is a whole thing. Okay. Well.
Yeah, but I mean, the students didn't talk to their parents about their sex life, so.
Right. It's usually how it goes. So, are you learning things as you're watching about sex?
I mean, yeah, I'm learning things. Like, I'm learning stuff that I didn't know existed. I mean, I'm not really like learning things about myself, but I'm learning like conditions and stuff like that people can have, like sexually related. So
cool. Okay, I don't know if I'll be interested in watching that.
It's a good show. It's funny.
Maybe I'll try it out.
It's very funny. And the school's like anthem. The lyrics, verbatim, like the chorus is
excuse me.
I don't want to curse, but
don't.
F the pain away.
F the pain away. Okay.
And then like the beginning of the song goes like sucking on my titties. That was the school anthem. I kid you not.
Why did you just say that?
I kid you. Like I'm saying the lyrics verbatim.
What is
like
going on?
Of the song.
What is going on?
Like of the song. Like that's the actual words. And yeah, like the music teacher is the one that made it. And like the choir sung the song as the anthem.
So yeah. So do you want to talk about Barbie? Or no? Do you remember?
Yeah, we can talk about Barbie. So we saw Barbie.
We saw
in the movie theater. And yeah, it was a great movie, good movie. It was very funny. And people were saying that it's not appropriate for children, but I don't see how it's not appropriate for children. I mean, it's just a realistic movie. I don't see how, I mean, other than like the cursing or something like that. But yeah. It was very funny.
It was funny.
Yeah, and I liked it. I liked the movie.
Yeah, Barbie is just not. I'm not a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. You know what I'm saying? So, so the movie was okay, and I did think people were like they were definitely ODing when they were. I saw some like hot takes online about how, it was they were being super feminist and they were anti-man on the in the movie.
It's literally Barbie. Like,
I think they were definitely going OD. Yeah, but I thought it was cute. It was like a cute movie, and I can see, it's definitely like some man. It was definitely like man versus woman, and like it had some very typical, this movie goes along with what we talked about for our discussion, because it had like some very typical masculine, feminine, polar energy in there. with the Kens and the Barbies. But I thought it was cute. I thought it was a cute movie, and it did have some funny parts in there. And
Issa Rae was hilarious. The whole movie. For sure.
Yes, and like certain parts, I learned.
Black woman being Barbie president.
I think that's a real thing. So here's the thing: things that I've learned. I learned, educational moments that I've learned while watching Barbie was that like how many iterations of Barbie that they actually had, because some of the characters in the Barbie movie were actual Barbies, and even the Kens too. Like there were different Kens, which I didn't know.
And there was Alan, apparently.
Yeah, I didn't know this. I wasn't a Barbie girl in a Barbie world. I didn't have Barbies as a kid. Not that I remember. Like it just wasn't a thing for me. So yeah, I was like, oh, that's interesting. Like they had a sugar daddy Ken or something. Like
yeah, that was terrible.
It was interesting, like seeing.
They had Midge, which got discontinued.
Was she pregnant?
Yep.
The pregnant Barbie. Yep. And then like at the end of the movie, it like showed you how the real ones in real life looked, and that they were actual products. They were on somebody's shelf, which I thought was really interesting. Mm-hmm. Yeah, really interesting.
And the person that created Barbie starred in the movie as well. So that's she starred in the movie.
Oh yeah. And then I remember that. Mm-hmm. And they fashioned, I don't know if it was actually her.
It was her.
It was her? Oh, I thought somebody was playing her. But yeah. And then I think after the movie I did some reading up on her, and it was like, oh yeah, she came up with the idea based on her kids or something, her son and her daughter or something like that, which is super interesting too.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anything else about Barbie? Something else I've been watching on Netflix.
They did a good job of like connecting Barbie to like the real world. I think they did a good job on that.
How so? There's certain parts I don't remember.
When she went to the real world, when she drove to the real world to figure out why she was having issues, because the person that Barbie was connected to was having issues, was having internal conflict of her own. So it was affecting the Barbie.
Okay. Yeah.
In her childhood, stuff like that. So.
Right. Yeah. So yes, I think it was a good movie. It was a good movie. The movie theater that we went to go see it in, not so much.
I don't remember nothing about that.
Because we went to the one up north in Huntersville, right? That one.
Oh yeah.
And the seats didn't recline. It was giving 1989.
I mean, that's what the outside looked like too. So
yeah, but I thought it was just for nostalgia. I thought they did it on purpose. Yeah. It kind of gives like the outside of the building. It gives
1920s.
Yeah, vintage. I don't know about 20s, but
it's definitely giving 20s. Ray Charles.
It's giving vintage, and so I was like, "Oh, this is like let's go in here." I thought something they did on purpose, and that like the actual theater itself that you watch the movie in would be like upgraded. I was wrong. I was taken back to when I was going to the movies at 10 years old in 1995, because there were no reclining of the seats. The seats were cloth, and so yeah. That probably also contributed to my enjoyment of the movie. You know what I'm saying? Because,
Correction, 1950s, not 20s. That's what it's giving. It's giving them 50s. Yeah.
Something else honorable mention that I've been watching on Netflix, or that I have watched all of it on Netflix, Dirty Money. Craziness. It's a limited series. I think it's limited. This is a series, there's episodes, and they talk about, each episode is a different story, and they talk about like different ways that businesses and or people have made their money, and how they pretty much were scamming to make the money, either scamming or doing something illegal, or you should just watch it. There's this one episode on Wells Fargo, and we know how the big banks do. So no surprise there. There's another episode on they be scamming to make money, and charging all kind of miscellaneous fees that don't apply. It's craziness. opening up accounts that people didn't ask for. Craziness.
So, glad I don't bank with him.
Oh, most of the big banks have gotten in trouble for this, so it's not just Wells Fargo.
That I bank with considered a big bank?
No, it's a credit union, so it's different. So yes, we'll talk about that later.
Okay.
Yeah, credit union, bank are yeah. Anyway, so another episode was about this man who owned this online payday loan company. Bananas.
That actually sounds so smart. Wait.
Oh, that's smart. He got a lot of money.
Yeah, that sounds so smart. Online pay. First of all,
but he was
them payday loan folks. They be scamming. Period. Like that.
Yes.
That whole subject is a scam. It doesn't matter if it's online or in person.
Yeah, it is.
Every time I pass by a payday loan building on the street, scams.
Scams, lies, and fairy tales.
Yeah,
it's what they're selling you. Because
never in your life ever
do a payday loan. Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. And the same goes for a car title loan. What do they call it? Title loan, whatever it is. Absolutely not. Yeah, they be scamming. And this man who was at the CEO or the head of this company he was like, I don't know, that was one of his arguments too. He was like, well, this is like an industry standard. Every one of my peers does the exact same thing. But I think what he was doing was a little bit more evil than what the others had done. And he got sued and he lost, and they came and was confiscated all of his things because he was living it up in this mansion with all these cars, race cars that he was racing for no reason because he just wanted to. So yeah, craziness. Y'all should watch it. And there's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 episodes, so that's just 2 of them. So y'all should give it a look, give it a gander.
I watched Wolf of Wall Street for the first time not too long ago.
Oh yeah, how was that?
It was good. It was super long for no reason. The movie really didn't have to be that long. I don't know why in the world. It was 3 hours long. Took me about 3 days to finish that movie. But yeah, it was a good movie. It was funny, and it's based off a true story. So
I watched part of it. I didn't get all the way through it, but I did watch like maybe the first hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that just like really made me think like money is not real. It's really not real. Like cash money is not a real thing. You know what I mean?
Digital money ain't either.
But I feel like that's more of a real thing than cash money is, right?
Why?
Because he had a whole bunch of money in cash, right?
Yeah.
So he could like, so he could like buy all this stuff. Like, what is it called when they do that? When they have a whole bunch of cash, and it's not, is it called fraud?
Money laundering, like when it's not clean.
Money laundering,
and they got to clean it. Yeah. Oh, okay.
That's what he got charged for.
Oh.
He went to jail for.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch the whole movie because I don't know what happened.
Yeah, money's not real. Money's not real.
Oh well, I don't know. I think a lot of the things that, yeah, of course it's made up. All of it is made up. All of it is made up. But yeah, I need to watch that movie and finish it, see what happens.
Yeah. I think I forgot.
So, what you got? You got a bone to pick?
No, I already picked my bone earlier when I was talking about my English teacher.
Okay.
Yeah.
I remember, well, this is something that you might, because remember we was talking about people who tell time a certain way?
Yeah. I'm actually, what's so ironic is after we had that conversation, I had to learn how to say time like that in Spanish.
Oh, yeah? How to say time like that?
So not only do I not understand it in English, but I have to learn it in Spanish.
What are we talking about? Because they don't know.
So, you know how people will say, like, whenever you ask them what time it is, and then they say, oh, it's a quarter till or a quarter after. What? Like, just say the time. It's not that hard.
Like a quarter till what?
Like, even if you say a quarter till 8, just say 7:45.
Well,
no. I don't have time to do the math in my head. Just say 7:45. It's not that difficult.
Or half through the hour, half to the hour.
Nope.
You don't like that?
No.
What about military time?
Absolutely not. I mean, I know how to do it now because I can like do the math in my head and stuff like that. Because if it's past 12 p.m. and someone says like 14:20, then I know it's 2:20 because all you have to do is subtract 12 from it.
Right.
Because it's past 12.
Right.
But yeah, still a lot. Just say the time. Because I know if it's AM or PM.
Right.
So just say the time. Obviously, it's not 2 a.m. because the sun is out. So just say 2:40 or something.
Or if you're making an appointment and they say, like, I'll meet you on Tuesday at 1400 hours.
I mean, like, why would they meet me at 2 a.m.? Obviously, it's 2 p.m. Like,
well, maybe 8. Well, what if they say 2000 hours when they mean 8 p.m.? Because you can meet someone.
They can say 8 p.m. That's what they can say, 8 p.m. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't get it either. I feel like some people say it just because they want to be different.
Yeah. Because what?
You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't even know why military people do it. Like, why?
I don't know why the military does a lot of things. But yeah, I don't know why either, where that stems from, but I'm guessing it's just easier to keep things uniform across the board. You know what I'm saying?
Spanish uses military time too.
Is that how they do it universally? Like that's how they learn time?
Yeah, like everyone. They use a 24-hour clock. Like we use a 12-hour clock when we learn time and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. They use a 24-hour clock.
Do most cultures do 24 hours and we just do the 12 thing?
I don't know, but I don't think it's all countries that do that. Like I don't think all Spanish dialects do that. I'm not sure. But I just know that like some people that speak Spanish, they use a 24-hour clock or they learn with a 24-hour clock and not like Americans.
So maybe that's why the American military does that, to be more universal with what the world does, if that's what most of the world does. Because even like with how we measure things, right? We use feet. Most other countries use meters. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like we do a lot of things weird that most other countries don't do.
Yeah, we just want to be different. we just want to be different.
So that's interesting.
We even like do the temperature differently. Mm-hmm. Like we don't use Celsius, we use Fahrenheit.
Yep.
So
that's another one. Yeah, I don't know.
Which I don't get Celsius, by the way. It's just like what? Because it's 17 degrees Celsius and you walk outside and it feels like 84. Like what?
This is how they learned it. If you would have learned it that way, then it would make sense.
That makes no sense. Like it's negative 20 degrees Celsius outside, but you go out there and it's feeling like 50.
Yeah.
Like what?
Yeah, very interesting how that works. So I have a bone to pick.
So
with student loans. And the student loan companies. So student loans are starting back up in October, as most of you, if you're an adult and went to school and have loans, you may know. Student loans are starting back up. We have to continue making our payments starting this month. So I went to a school that was doing fraudulent things. And so my student loans got forgiven, right? I got this email. It was a big celebration, like, whoa, my student loans are forgiven. And then,
so you don't have to pay student loans anymore?
Well, here's the thing. This is why I'm picking the bone. Okay. And so it's like, I was like, oh my God, yes, like I knew this day would come. My student loans are forgiven. My federal student loans. I still have private student loans, That's a whole other thing, but the private ones aren't that much. So my federal student loans, which is the majority of my student loans, were being dismissed. They were being forgiven. And so I, after I got that thing, I think I got that letter while during the pandemic, while our student loans were in everybody's was in forbearance, right? We weren't having to pay anything. So now we're going to have to start paying back. I'm thinking, surely, because I received that letter, that email like a year ago. Surely, I won't have to make any payments. You know what I'm saying? Even though when I go into my account, I go in and it says, I still see my balance as if I still need to pay this off. So I'm like, what's going on? I keep getting calls and emails and all of the notifications saying that, okay, student loan payments are going to start back up. You need to make your arrangements, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, surely this doesn't apply to me. But I know how people like to do. Not people, but companies in particular like to do. So I called them and I said, hey, I know payments are starting up in October. I ain't got to pay that, right? And they're like, actually, you do. You do. And I said, so why? Because my student loans were forgiven. And I don't understand. And she was like, oh, well, your student loans are up for consideration to be forgiven. And I said, what?
So if they're considering to forgive your student loans, then I feel like that you shouldn't pay them until they decide that they're not going to.
Exactly. Even if I am in consideration, my student loan should be paused indefinitely until y'all make y'all decision. Why do I have to make a payment? Because y'all's processes are slow, like molasses.
Right.
Like, and she was like, okay, you're up for consideration. They have to do a thing, it has to go through the whole process. And then once it goes through the whole process, that may take.
What process?
I don't know. Listen.
Because it's been years, right? It's been years. It's not like you're trying to get a new amendment for the Bill of Rights on the Constitution. So what's going on?
That's what they're acting like, because they're saying, like, did they say 7 months? I don't even remember what she said, but it was some outlandish thing. I think it was 7 months. She was like, oh, from today, I don't remember what it was. But it was, let's just say 7 months. She was like, from now until 7 months from now, it could take 7 months for us to decide if these student loans actually apply. And then when we make our
decision, why wouldn't it apply? Because you were obviously a student at a fraudulent.
And I received a letter that said it applies.
Right.
It said that all of these loans would be forgiven. So why do you have to go through another process to see if it would be forgiven? This doesn't make sense. And so, yeah. So until they make their decision, I have to make payments throughout the 7 months or however long it's going to take. And then if they forgive the loans after the 7 months, then they'll reimburse me for the payments that I made.
And then that's going to take another 10 years.
To get the reimbursement. Right, exactly. Like, what is going on? Why don't you just pause? Wouldn't it make more sense to just pause them?
Right. And then if you decide it's a no, because that's more hassle everybody has to go through.
Yeah.
If you have to reimburse them for the money that they paid.
Yeah.
That they weren't even supposed to owe in the first place. And just take a pause on it. And then if you decide no, then they'll start paying their loans.
Exactly. Like, then you start paying it. I ain't been paying it for the past 2 years. What's another 7 months gonna hurt?
Right.
Child, I can't with them. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. That's my bone to pick. Student loans are trash.
Donald Trump went to jail. That's why.
Well, he didn't go to jail.
He did.
He did.
He did in my mind.
Oh, I mean, he got arrested. He got a mugshot, so I guess that counts.
Yeah. But I mean, of course, he got bailed out within like
2 seconds.
Right. But I'm just saying, like, technically, he's still in jail in my mind. He's still in jail in my mind.
Yeah, student loans are trash. This country is trash. Loan companies are trash. Yeah. That's it. Mm-hmm. Anything else for you?
So trade school it is. Yeah, college sounds terrible. unless I have a scholarship, then would be
that's what we're
story.
working towards. But hopefully we'll have that.
Yeah.
That's
seems like a lot. Seems like a hassle.
It is. It is. And the fact that tuition has gone up since I was in college, we ain't even gonna get into that. Okay.
Yeah. Giving $50,000 per semester.
Yeah.
Not for the 4 years. Per semester.
That's ridiculous.
So that's times 8. Because there are 2 semesters in 1 year, right? So that's times 8.
And that's if you graduate on time.
50, right? So 50,000 times 8.
$400,000
for college. That is insane. Absolutely insane. You're paying that for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Unless it doesn't really matter, like the type of thing that you were studying, it doesn't really affect you like that. You know what I mean? Like if you're making a lot of money.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, I mean, listen. How this whole country is set up from the bottom, from the rooter to the tutor, sucks. So yeah.
Or maybe it's just time to move out of the country. Maybe. Do you still have to pay your student loans if you move out of the country?
I think this should be an offline discussion.
I found a loophole. We found the loophole.
Anyway, that's it, I think, right?
Yep.
We ain't got nothing else. Yep. So we are going to go, and we'll see y'all next time.
Goodbye.
Peace.
Memphis mayoral election results.
I saw that. The young guy won. I'm so happy for them. Paul Young.
He's black?
Yes.
Oh, right.
He's young. Okay. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy that we got a young guy and a black guy. All right, I think we should be good to go. I ate that, I ain't gonna lie.
No, you did not.
I turned you down. I turned you down. I turned you down.
What's happening?